Commander Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Terra Nova and watched the brown planet grow larger on the main screen. The ship had been traveling through deep space for 3 months, searching for new worlds that humans could explore. Jake was tired but excited. This planet looked different from all the others they had found. "Sir, we are getting some strange readings from the surface," said Lieutenant Amy Carter from her control station. She was the ship's science officer and had been studying the planet for hours. "There are metal structures down there, but they look very old." Jake walked over to her station and looked at the data. The readings showed massive buildings made of unknown materials, buried under dirt and rock. Some of the structures were bigger than entire human cities. "How old do you think they are?" he asked. "At least 10,000 years, maybe more," Amy replied. "But sir, these readings show technology that we have never seen before. The metal is stronger than anything we know how to make." Jake made his decision quickly. "Prepare a landing team. I want Dr. Lisa Martinez and her archaeology group ready to go down in 1 hour. This could be the discovery of a lifetime." Dr. Lisa Martinez had spent her whole career studying dead alien civilizations. She had explored ruins on dozens of worlds, but nothing had prepared her for what she found on Kepler 442b. The structures were not just buildings. They were the remains of something much more incredible. "Jake, you need to see this," Lisa called over her radio. She was standing inside what looked like a control room, the size of a football stadium. Strange symbols covered the walls, and massive screens hung dark and silent. "This is not just a city. I think this whole planet was being turned into something else." Jake and his team made their way through the ruins. The hallways were wide enough for trucks to drive through. The ceiling was so high that their lights could barely reach it. Everything was built on a scale that seemed impossible. "Look at these blueprints," said Dr. Sam Foster, Lisa's assistant. He was standing next to a wall covered in detailed drawings. The symbols were alien, but the pictures were clear enough to understand. They showed a planet being hollowed out and filled with engines and weapons. Lisa studied the drawings for hours. Her heart began to beat faster as she realized what she was looking at. "These are not plans for a building or a city," she said. "These are plans for turning an entire planet into a spaceship." The team spent days exploring the ruins and copying everything they could find. The alien builders, who Lisa decided to call the architects, had created technology that was far beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. They had found a way to move planets through space like giant warships. According to these plans, a planet warship would have weapons that could destroy entire fleets, Lisa explained to Jake. The armor would be so thick that normal weapons could not hurt it, and the engines would be powerful enough to move faster than light while carrying the mass of a whole world. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. Why did they never build it? "I think they ran out of time," Lisa said sadly. She showed him another set of drawings that depicted a great war. The architects had been fighting some terrible enemy that had destroyed them before they could finish their project. "But Jake, the plans are here. Someone with enough knowledge could use these blueprints to actually build one of these things." Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, the situation was getting worse every day. The hegemony, a group of aggressive alien species, was attacking peaceful worlds and taking them over. The Galactic Coalition was supposed to protect everyone, but their ships were not strong enough to stop the hegemony's massive fleets. Captain Ryan Foster commanded a coalition patrol ship near the border between safe space and hegemony territory. He had fought in many battles and knew that the coalition was losing the war. The aliens in charge of the coalition were too afraid to take big risks, and their battle plans were always the same. "Sir, we are receiving a distress call from the mining colony on Kepler 186f, said his communications officer. They say hegemony ships are attacking. Ryan knew there was nothing he could do. His single ship could not fight an entire hegemony battle group. Send word to Coalition Command, he said with anger in his voice. Tell them we need more ships here, or we are going to lose another world. But Ryan knew that Coalition Command would not send help in time. They never did. The Coalition's ships were spread too thin, and the politicians were too scared to make hard decisions. Good people were dying while the galaxy's leaders held meetings and argued about rules. Back on Kepler 442b, Lisa made a discovery that changed everything. Hidden in the deepest part of the ruins, she found a room filled with smaller blueprints. These showed that the architects had not planned to build just one planet warship. They had designed an entire fleet of them. Jake, look at this, she said, her voice shaking with excitement. There are plans here for at least 50 different planet warships, each one designed for a different purpose. Some for fighting, some for building, some for carrying people. Jake studied the plans and felt his mind racing. Lisa, who in the galaxy today could actually build something like this? Lisa thought about the question carefully. The crystalline Dominion was good with energy weapons, but they could not build things this big. The Void Swimmers were masters of space travel, but they did not understand heavy construction. The Elder races were wise, but set in their old ways. Honestly, Jake, I think only humans could do it, she said. We are the only species that is good at taking different technologies and putting them together. We are the only ones crazy enough to try something this big. Jake nodded slowly. He was beginning to understand what Lisa was thinking. You want to take these plans back to Earth. I want to do more than that, Lisa said. I want to talk to Admiral Patricia Cole. I want to show her what humans could build if we had the courage to try. Jake looked around the alien ruins one more time. The galaxy was changing, and not for the better. Maybe it was time for humans to show everyone what they were really capable of. Maybe it was time to build something that would make the whole galaxy stop and pay attention. Pack up everything, he told his team. We are going home, and we are going to change the course of galactic history. The Terra Nova left Kepler 442b 3 days later, carrying the greatest secret the galaxy had ever known. In the cargo hold, carefully packed and protected, were the complete blueprints for building planet warships. Lisa sat in her lab, studying the plans and running calculations. The more she learned, the more excited she became. Humans were about to show the galaxy what real engineering looked like. Admiral Patricia Cole sat in the emergency meeting room deep inside Earth's military headquarters. Around the long table sat the most important people in human space. Dr. Lisa Martinez had just finished explaining her discovery, and the room was completely silent. Let me understand this correctly, said General Tony Webb, the head of Earth's defense forces. You want us to turn Mars into a giant spaceship? Lisa nodded. The blueprints are complete. The architects did all the hard work for us. We just need to build it. Defense Minister Carol Stevens shook her head. This is impossible. No one has ever moved a planet before. The amount of energy needed would be enormous. Actually, it is possible, said Chief Engineer Bobby Chun. He had been studying the alien blueprints for weeks. I have run the numbers. With our current technology and the architect designs, we could do this. It would be the biggest construction project in human history, but we could do it. Admiral Cole looked around the table. The hegemony was winning the war. Coalition forces were retreating on every front. Millions of people were dying. Something had to be done, and normal weapons were not enough. How long would it take? She asked. Bobby thought carefully. If we use every construction ship, every mining operation, and every factory in human space, we could finish it in 18 months. But we would have to work in complete secrecy. Why secret? Asked Carol. Lisa answered, "Because if the other coalition species find out what we are doing, they will try to stop us. They have rules about planetary modification. They will say it is too dangerous." Admiral Cole made her decision. "We will do it. Bobby, you are in charge of construction. Lisa, you will lead the science team. Carol, make sure we have all the resources we need. And remember, no one outside this room can know about this project." The project was given the code name Operation Red Hammer. Within days, construction ships began moving toward Mars. To anyone watching, it looked like humans were starting a normal mining operation. They had no idea that humanity was about to change the galaxy forever. Bobby Chun stood on the bridge of the construction ship, New Frontier, and watched as drilling platforms lowered toward the surface of Mars. The first step was to dig deep tunnels that would reach all the way to the planet's core. This was where the main engines would be built. "How deep do we need to go?" asked construction supervisor Kate Sullivan. "All the way to the center," Bobby replied. "We need to replace the planet's core with our engine systems. The fusion reactors will be bigger than most cities." Kate had worked on space stations and asteroid mining platforms, but nothing had prepared her for this. They were going to hollow out an entire planet and fill it with machinery. "Bobby, are you sure this will work?" "The math says it will work," Bobby said. "The architects were brilliant engineers. Their designs are perfect." The work began slowly. Giant drilling machines, each one the size of a skyscraper, bored into the red soil of Mars. Behind them came construction crews who built tunnels wide enough for spaceships to fly through. Everything had to be done carefully. One mistake could crack the planet in half. Dr. Sam Foster worked with a team of scientists to understand the architect technology better. They had found something amazing in the blueprints. The aliens had designed weapons that were more powerful than anything humans had ever imagined. "Look at this," Sam said to his assistant, Dr. Nancy White. "These rail guns are built into the planet's mountains. Each one is 50 miles long. They could fire projectiles at nearly the speed of light." Nancy studied the designs. "And these plasma cannons use the planet's atmosphere as ammunition. They could create energy beams that would cut through the strongest armor." Meanwhile, Lieutenant Colonel Danny Ward was working on the defensive systems. The planet would need shields that could protect it from enemy attacks. The architect designs showed energy barriers that could cover the entire world. "The shield generators will be built into the planet's crust," Danny explained to his team. "They will draw power directly from the main engines. When they are active, nothing will be able to get through." As the months passed, Mars began to change. The red planet was still red on the outside, but inside it was becoming something completely different. Massive chambers were carved out and filled with machinery. The planet's core was replaced with fusion reactors that burned brighter than stars. Engineer Kate Sullivan made an important breakthrough. She found a way to combine human reactor technology with the architect power systems. The result was engines that were twice as powerful as the original designs. "Bobby, you need to see this," Kate said over the communication system. "Our modifications are working better than expected. We could move this planet faster than any spaceship in the galaxy." Bobby was amazed. "How much faster?" "Fast enough to cross the galaxy in weeks instead of years," Kate replied. "Fast enough to appear anywhere we want without warning." The construction. Crews worked day and night. Millions of people from across human space came to help with the project. Miners, engineers, scientists, and factory workers all joined together to build something that had never existed before. Captain Michelle Barnes was chosen to command the planet warship when it was finished. She spent her time learning every system and every weapon. The command center was being built inside Olympus Mons, the largest mountain on Mars. From there, She would control the most powerful weapon in galactic history. "The bridge is incredible," Michelle told Admiral Cole during a visit. "We will have control over weapons that could destroy entire fleets. But we will also have responsibility for the lives of everyone on this planet. How many people will live on Mars when it is finished?" Admiral Cole asked. "About 50 million," Michelle replied. "They will live in cities built inside the planet. They will have farms, schools, and everything they need for normal life. This will not just be a weapon. It will be a home." As the construction continued, other human colonies began their own secret projects. The moon Luna was being converted into a smaller but faster planet warship. The moons of Jupiter were being turned into a coordinated battle group. Humanity was not building just one planet warship. They were building a fleet. Dr. Lisa Martinez made another important discovery. She found more architect sites on other worlds, each one containing plans for different types of planet warships. Some were designed for long-distance exploration. Others were built for carrying huge populations. The possibilities seemed endless. "Jake, we have found 17 more sites," Lisa told Commander Morrison. "The architects planned to build hundreds of these ships. They were preparing for something big." Jake looked worried. What were they preparing for? "I do not know yet," Lisa admitted. "But whatever it was powerful enough to scare a civilization that could move planets." 18 months after the project began, Mars was nearly finished. The red planet looked the same from the outside, but inside it was the most advanced piece of technology ever created. Soon it would be time to test humanity's new weapon. The galaxy had no idea what was coming. The Battle of Proxima Station was going badly for the coalition forces. Captain Ryan Foster watched from his ship's bridge as hegemony warships destroyed another coalition cruiser. The enemy had brought their biggest fleet yet, and the coalition was losing. "Sir, we have lost contact with the Altarian flagship," reported his tactical officer. "The hegemony is pushing us back on all fronts." Ryan gritted his teeth. This was the same story everywhere. The coalition had good ships and brave crews, but the hegemony had more of everything. Without help, Proxima Station would fall within hours. Suddenly, every sensor on every ship began screaming warnings. Something massive was approaching the battle at faster than light speed. The signatures were unlike anything anyone had ever seen. "What is that?" asked the hegemony fleet commander from his flagship. His science officer was staring at readings that made no sense. "Sir, it appears to be a planet," the officer replied. "But that is impossible. Planets do not travel at light speed." Then Mars appeared. The red planet dropped out of faster than light travel right in the middle of the battle. Both coalition and hegemony forces stopped fighting and stared in complete shock. A world had just arrived like a spaceship. Captain Michelle Barnes sat in the command center built inside Olympus Mons and looked at the tactical display. The mountain around her had been turned into the most advanced bridge ever built. She could see every ship in the system and control weapons that covered half the planet. "This is Captain Barnes of the Terran Mobile Fortress Mars," she announced on all frequencies. "All hegemony forces have 30 seconds to surrender or withdraw." The hegemony fleet commander laughed. "You expect us to be afraid of one ship? Even if it is big, we have 50 battleships." Michelle did not argue. She simply gave the order, "Fire." The surface of Mars lit up with weapons that had never been seen before. Railguns built into mountains fired projectiles at nearly the speed of light. Plasma cannons drew energy from the planet's atmosphere and created beams that could cut through anything. Energy weapons powered by fusion reactors, the size of cities, reached across space to touch enemy ships. The hegemony fleet disappeared in less than 5 minutes. 50 of the most advanced warships in the galaxy were destroyed so quickly that some of them did not even have time to send distress signals. The few ships that survived did so only because they jumped to faster-than-light speed the moment the shooting started. The Coalition forces floated in space, too shocked to move or speak. They had just watched a planet destroy an entire enemy. Fleet. The universe had changed, and no one knew what it meant. Admiral Cole received emergency communications from every major government in the galaxy within hours. The Zephyrian Council demanded explanations. The Ethereal Collective threatened sanctions. The Crystalline Dominion wanted to know if humans planned to attack them next. Dr. Alex Turner, humanity's ambassador to the Coalition, found himself facing the angriest group of aliens he had ever seen. The emergency session was being held on the neutral station of Deep Space 7, and representatives from dozens of species had come to demand answers. You have violated every treaty about planetary modification, accused Ambassador Zeth Kaller of the Zephyrian Council. You have built a weapon of mass destruction without permission from the Coalition. You have betrayed our trust, added the ethereal representative, whose translated voice sounded hurt and angry. We welcomed you into the Coalition as friends. We never expected you to build planet killers in secret. Alex had expected this reaction. With respect, honored representatives, we built this weapon to defend the Coalition. The hegemony was winning the war. They would have conquered all of us eventually. That does not give you the right to change the balance of power in the galaxy. Zeth Kaller replied, One planet warship could destroy any civilization. How do we know you will not use it against us? Before Alex could answer, Intelligence Officer Commander Nancy White entered the meeting room. She carried data that would shock everyone even more. I am sorry to interrupt, Nancy said, but you all need to see this. She activated a holographic display that showed the solar system. Mars was there, but it was not alone. Luna, Earth's moon, was also moving under its own power. The moons of Jupiter were traveling in formation like a battle group. How many planet warships do you have? Asked the ethereal representative in a voice that was barely a whisper. Currently operational? 3, Nancy replied. Under construction? 12 more. The silence in the room was complete. Every alien representative was trying to understand what this meant. Humans had not built one planet warship. They had built a fleet, and they were building more. The political effects were immediate and dramatic. The Maker Assembly, a species of skilled engineers, sent a message asking to become allies with humanity. They wanted to learn human construction. Techniques. The Trader Federation offered exclusive deals, hoping to stay on humanity's good side, but other species reacted with fear. The hegemony began retreating from all their conquered territories. Several of their client species declared independence, knowing that the hegemony could no longer protect them from human planet warships. The old coalition started to fall apart. Some species wanted to join humanity's side. Others wanted to stay neutral. A few began secretly building their own weapons, hoping to find something that could stop a planet warship. Meanwhile, the hegemony leadership was in complete panic. General Korthvex, their supreme military commander, called an emergency meeting of all hegemony leaders. Our entire military doctrine is now useless, he announced. Our biggest ships carry weapons that can destroy cities. Humans have weapons that can destroy solar systems. What do you recommend? Asked the hegemony High Chancellor. Complete retreat to our core worlds, Korthvex replied. We cannot fight planet warships with normal ships. We need time to develop new strategies, or we need to surrender. The psychological impact on the galaxy was enormous. For thousands of years, warfare had followed the same patterns. Fleets of ships fought other fleets of ships. The biggest guns and the thickest armor usually won. But humans had changed all the rules. Captain Michelle Barnes received reports from across human space. More planet warships were being completed every month. The gas giant Saturn was being converted into a mobile shipyard. The asteroid belt was being turned into a construction facility that could build planet warships while traveling to other star systems. Admiral Cole wants to know if we are ready for the next phase, reported her communications officer. Michelle looked at the tactical display showing 12 human planet warships spread across the galaxy. Each one was a mobile fortress that could appear anywhere without warning. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy entire civilizations. "Tell the Admiral we are ready," Michelle replied. "Humanity is no longer just a member of the galactic community. We are the guardians of the galaxy now." The age of planet warships had begun, and everyone knew that the universe would never be the same again. 6 months after the Battle of Proxima Station, the galaxy looked completely different. Humanity now operated 15 planet warships, with more being built every week. The old galactic coalition no longer existed. In its place was the Terran Federation, led by humans but open to any species that wanted to join. Fleet Admiral Patricia Cole stood in the command center of Terra Station, a massive space platform orbiting Earth. Through the huge windows, she could see 3 planet warships, hanging in space like moons. Mars, Luna, and Europa moved in slow formation, their surfaces bristling with weapons that could reshape star systems. "Admiral, we have received another request to join the Federation," reported her aide, Lieutenant Commander Carl Davis. "The Vorthan Republic wants protection from hegemony raiders." Patricia nodded. Many species were asking to join the Federation now. They had learned that being humanity's ally was much safer than being humanity's enemy. Accept their request. Send the planet warship Titan to their home system as a show of good faith. The hegemony was collapsing faster than anyone had expected. Without their massive fleets, they could not hold their conquered territories. Dozens of worlds were declaring independence every day. Some asked the Federation for protection. Others tried to stay neutral and hide. General Victor Hayes led Federation forces on humanitarian missions to former hegemony worlds. Unlike the old coalition, which moved slowly and argued about everything, the Federation acted quickly. When people needed help, Federation ships arrived within days. "The situation on Kepler 438b is stable," Victor reported to Admiral Cole. "The local population is grateful for our protection. They want to know if they can become a Federation member world." "What do you think?" Patricia asked. "I think we should accept them," Victor replied. "They have good mining facilities and skilled workers. More importantly, they are in a strategic location that could help us protect other worlds." The Federation was growing rapidly, but not everyone was happy about humanity's new role in the galaxy. Some of the older alien civilizations felt threatened by human power. They remembered when humans were just newcomers who followed orders. For more advanced species, Dr. Alex Turner still served as humanity's chief diplomat, but his job had become much more complicated. He spent his days meeting with alien leaders who were either trying to join the Federation or plotting against it. "The Ethereal Collective is still refusing to recognize our authority," Alex reported during the weekly council meeting. "They claim that humans are too young and too aggressive to lead the galaxy." "What about the Crystalline Dominion?" asked Patricia. "They are remaining neutral for now," Alex replied. "But our intelligence suggests they are working on new weapons. They think they can find something that will work against planet warships." Meanwhile, Dr. Lisa Martinez continued her archaeological work with almost unlimited resources. The Federation gave her everything she needed to search for more architect sites. What she found was both exciting and terrifying. "I have discovered something important," Lisa announced during an emergency science briefing. "The architects were not the first civilization to build planet warships. They learned the technology from someone else. Dr. Sam Foster, now the head of xenarchaeology, leaned forward with interest. What do you mean? I found records that mention an even older race called the Builders, Lisa explained. According to the architect files, the Builders came from outside our galaxy millions of years ago. They built planet warships to fight something even more dangerous. What were they fighting? Asked Patricia. Lisa's face was grim. Something called the Devourers. The records are not clear, but it sounds like they were machines that consumed entire civilizations. The Builders created planet warships as the only weapon that could stop them. What happened to the Builders? Sam asked. They disappeared, Lisa replied. But before they left, they hid the planet warship technology for other species to find. They knew the Devourers would return someday. This discovery changed everything. Humanity was not just building planet warships for defense against other aliens. They were preparing for a threat that could destroy the entire galaxy. Commander Steve Rodriguez captained the Federation's newest project, a mobile shipyard called New Genesis. The massive facility was built around the gas giant Neptune and could construct planet warships while traveling between star systems. Admiral, New Genesis is ready for its first mission, Steve reported. We can travel to the Andromeda sector and begin building a forward base there. How many planet warships can you build? Patricia asked. 1 every 3 months, Steve replied. And each shipyard we build can construct more shipyards. In 10 years, we could have hundreds of planet warships spread across the galaxy. The speed of human expansion amazed even their allies. The Maker, Assembly, who had joined the Federation early, worked alongside human engineers to improve construction techniques. Together, they developed new types of planet warships designed for different purposes. Captain Michelle Barnes, now commanding. A fleet of 5 planet warships received an interesting mission. Long-range sensors had detected an unknown alien civilization in a distant part of the galaxy. The Federation wanted to make peaceful contact. Approach slowly, Michelle ordered as her fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the alien. Homeworld, we do not want to scare them. But the aliens were already scared. Their primitive sensors had detected the approaching planet warships, and they thought the end of the world was coming. This is Captain Michelle Barnes of the Terran Federation. She broadcast on all frequencies. We come in peace. We want to talk to your leaders. The alien response was immediate and panicked. Please do not destroy us. We will surrender. We will give you anything you want, Michelle sighed. This was the problem with planet warships. They were so powerful that other species automatically assumed humans were conquerors. We do not want to conquer you. We want to offer you protection and friendship. It took hours of careful talking to convince the aliens that the Federation meant no harm. Eventually, their leaders agreed to meet. Within a week, they had asked to join the Federation. As the months passed, the Federation continued to grow. More species joined every day. More planet warships were built every week. Humanity had become the dominant force in the galaxy, but they had also become its protectors. Dr. Lisa Martinez made one final discovery that changed how everyone thought about the future. Deep in the oldest architect ruins, she found a message left by the builders themselves. The Devourers will return, the message said. When they do, only those with planet warships will survive. Build many. Build quickly. The galaxy depends on it. Patricia Cole read the message and felt a chill run down her spine. Humanity had built planet warships to win a war against the hegemony. But it seemed they had actually been preparing for something much worse. How long do we have? She asked Lisa. I do not know, Lisa replied. But the builders left this message millions of years ago. If they were right, the Devourers could arrive at any time. Patricia looked out at the planet warships orbiting Earth. 15 massive worlds, each one a fortress capable of destroying entire fleets. It seemed like a lot, but if the builders were right, it might not be enough. "Double our construction efforts," she ordered. "If something is coming for our galaxy, we will be ready for it." The age of planet warships had begun not with conquest, but with the promise of protection. Humanity had changed the galaxy forever, and now they would defend it against whatever threats the universe might bring.